What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. There is so much info. We're going to jump straight into a new video, and it's going to be talking about the new super evolution that's coming for the anniversary period here. This Roronoa Zoro, I believe, dropped during either the 8.5 or the 9.5 anniversary celebration. I'm pretty sure it was the 8.5 anniversary celebration. This character is not that great, honestly. However, this character not only received a super evolution, unfortunately it is a paywalled super evolution, so we're not going to be able to acquire these skulls for quite a long time, which is such a shame. But not only did he receive a super evo, both the 6-star and the 6-star plus have received level limit breaks. So even if you don't have the capabilities of super evolving your Zoro, your base form of Zoro will have buffed abilities, which is just interesting to talk about. So we're going to start there. We're going to start with Zoro, see what buffs he got, and see what is going to be changing when he super evolves. So let's go ahead and pull up Zoro first. So this is the old school Zoro right here. If we go over to the level limit break page, you can see that stuff is already changing. So let's go ahead and break down what he is doing. So in terms of the captain ability, he gives -1 cooldown at the start of the quest. Slashers and free spirit characters get 5.75 times attack when you have a matching slot, 5.25 times otherwise. That's a huge buff from what he had previously. He also gets 1.2 times HP, 10% damage reduction, and when you tap on this character with a tandem slot or a Wano slot or a rainbow slot, you will further increase your chain multiplier additions by 0.25. There's not a lot going on here, honestly, like not a ton of stuff happening, but like it's an okay ability. In terms of damage numbers, it seems good, but like not really any utility or anything, so I don't see many people utilizing him as a captain. If you do, you'll get access to his super class ability. You just need to have a Straw Hat on your team. You can also use Hiyori or Yamato, or when your crew has both color affinity and an orb boost activated. So very weird conditions, but either have one of the units or have color affinity and orb boost. The effect gives you damage to all enemies, and then you get a 2.5 times Slasher free spirit attack boost for 1 turn, and you get Super Slasher. Honestly, a pretty good super class overall. You can't really complain. You get decent damage that can be used for wave clearing and stuff like that, but you also get a pretty good attack boost on top of that as well. Moving on to the special. So let's have a look and see what kind of buffs he's going to receive with his special. There's a lot going on here. So first of which, it's going to cut your health by 20%, but it's going to deal 1.5 million damage to all enemies, ignoring everything, including normal attacks only. That's kind of crazy. He also reduces all enemies' rainbow shield and damage threshold duration by 7. And if you have a chain, is that tap time? I think that might be the tap timing chain buff. When you launch the special, it will further increase your tap timing chain buff by 0.3. And then, yeah, it says if you don't have that tap timing chain buff, he will give you that buff. And it means that when you tap perfect, instead of hitting a 0.3 multiplier increase, it's going to be a 0.6 multiplier increase for Slashers and Free Spirit. Furthermore, if your captain slot is Tandem, Wano, or Rainbow when you launch the special, boost the chain multiplier by 1.75 times for 1 turn. So this will give you a chain multiplicative buff, and it will give you a tap timing chain buff simultaneously, so long as you have the Tandem, Wano, or Rainbow slot. Like, being able to get that is quite good. Remember, if you use him as a captain, the chain buff that you get from additions will be buffed. That doesn't actually affect his multiplicative buff, because where it says 1.75 times, it doesn't say plus 1.75, it's 1.75 times. So his captain ability doesn't even buff what that special gives. I feel like that's a bit of a weird call. Very, very weird, okay? The thing about Zoro as well is this character's actually received a ton of buffs for his rumble stuff. Like, I think over the course of the time span, he's had like maybe 2 or 3 different random buffs, and people still don't use this guy. So in his rumble ability now, when it's fully buffed, gives Slasher teammates 6 speed, 6 attack, 6 HP. It's quite good. And then whenever he takes damage, up to 6 times, he gives himself a level 1 attack and level 1 crit increase. Not a great rumble ability. Doesn't give that much. I mean, the HP and attack is cool, but speed increase is whatever. No CT, no defense. Not really a big fan of that. His Rumble special is now going to target Slasher teammates for a level 7 attack increase, and then targets enemies in a large range horizontal for 3 times damage, and then targets one enemy ignoring defense 1.7. That's a pretty good hit. 1.7 through defense is pretty nice. No real complaints about that. What's his CT? What is his CT? 28? That's pretty good for a 28 CT, all things considered. Okay, I don't really have any complaints about that. It's just like, I don't really think there's many circumstances where you're actually gonna find a way to use this guy, because we already have so many good Zoras in the game, you know? So, I don't know. He just seems like a bit of a weird unit that might be used for like one random boss fight. Maybe in one of the treasure maps there's gonna be like a random fight that's really good for the Zora. I don't know, it seems a bit weird for me. Let's move on though. Let's have a look at what the 6+ is doing. Now, I have had a brief look in terms of when it was first revealed that he is actually going to be a side grade. He is altering his build. He's no longer going to be Dex / Free Spirit. He's now going to be Quick Driven Slasher. So he's dropping Free Spirit for the Driven. He's dropping Free Spirit for Driven. And have a look at this artwork, by the way. This artwork goes kind of crazy, especially with that ink effect. Looks pretty cool. I love it. I love it. Let's have a look and see what kind of buffs he's going to be receiving here. So remember that this character also receives buffs via the level limit break system. So you have the base buffs and you have the fully upgraded buffs of this character. So let's actually have a look. Let's see what we're getting here. His captain ability is going to give -2 turns of cooldown at the start of the quest. Slasher and Driven get 5.75 times attack with a matching slot, 5.25 times otherwise, so the same as the other Zoro. 1.2 times HP, 10% damage reduction, tapping on Tandem 1 or a Rainbow will further increase your chain additions by 0.25, so that is different from what the other Zoro does. And if a Slasher or Driven crewmate uses a special, reduces this character's cooldown by 2 turns, up to 3 times per quest. Oh, that's kind of spicy, actually. Hold up, that's kind of spicy. 14 turn cooldown as well. He already gives 2 turns of cooldown as a captain. Being able to charge his own special it allows you to potentially get his special to launch multiple times per quest. You only are able to activate this 3 times per quest to get -2 turns of cooldown for himself, so a total of 6 turns of additional cooldown on a 14 turn cooldown. That is without limit break expansion, so he probably goes down to 13 if you expand him. I don't know. Maybe that effect is not as good as what I thought. I guess the use case for this would be like if you're inflicted with special reverse and you have a character that can resist it, you can potentially like use a special, get his cooldown back that way. I don't know. It seems like a bit of a weird effect, honestly. Let's move on. He does have his superclass ability. This has actually changed as well. You need more characters. You need 3 of the following characters. So you got any of the Straw Hats, also Mihawk, Dazbones, Alba, Kaku, Ryuma, Kuma, Ohm, Hyozu, Tashigi, Monet, Pika, and Killer. You got a very vast array of characters there. God damn, dude. God damn. So you need 3 of those to activate the ability. You get the same damage. You get a 10% Slasher Driven resistance down. Allows your tap timing chain buffs to be increased twice. And then will boost Slasher Driven attack by 2.25 for 1 turn that can be overwritten. And then Slasher becomes Super Slasher. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like the base 6-star form of Zoro straight up just has a better superclass, because you only need 1 character to activate it, and the effect is very, very similar. Like, what you're missing out on is that this character gets access to resistance down, and your tap timing chain buffs can be buffed twice. The tap timing chain buffs to being able to be buffed twice, in honestly pretty redundant ability. The resistance down is a bit of an L, like losing that in the 6-star form of Zoro, but I mean everything else is just better. Even the 6-star Zoro, the attack boost that he gives is a 2.5 times attack boost, albeit it's not an overrideable attack boost, so there's that. The fact that this is overrideable, maybe they're giving so much credence to that. Requiring 3 of these characters, honestly, I think that's a bit harsh. I think there should have been at least 2 at a maximum. 3 is ridiculous. And it's going to be very difficult to use him. Let's have a look and see what this special is all about. So, his special ability will do 1.5 million damage that goes through everything, which is the same. Reduces damage threshold and Rainbow Shield by 6. If you have a tap timing chain buff, further increase it by 0.3. And then after that, doubles the chain multiplier for 1 turn. Doubles the chain multiplier. Okay, hang on. If you have tap timing chain buff, further increase it by 0.3. Then after that, doubles the chain multiplier for 1 turn. Like, I don't know if this is a new effect. I don't remember there being a character that just says straight up double the chain multiplier. That seems absurd. I think we're going to have to see this character in action to actually understand what this is doing. But on first glance, this seems very, very strong. Unless if this straight up just means it's a 2 times chain addition or a 2 times chain multiplicative buff, it's a little hard to understand. The way that I'm reading this, it says, hypothetically, if your chain goes to like 5x, it becomes 10x. Again, I don't know. Seems a little weird. That seems kind of crazy to me. That seems kind of crazy. If you have a Tandem, Wano, or Rainbow slot when you launch the special, boost Slasher and Driven characters chain multiply growth rate of their tap timing by 0.7 max. If your Captain slot is Quick, Dex, or Psy when you launch the special, Slasher and Driven characters damage dealt when landing a crit is buffed by 50%. Okay. If HP is 71% or above when you launch the special, cut your health by 70% and reduces his cooldown by 6 turns. Okay, this makes a little bit more sense with his Captain ability. It's going to be easier for sure to get his special to launch. Maybe not multiple times per turn, but multiple times per quest, definitely. Okay, bit of a weird one. A lot going on here, but one thing that also kind of stands out is that he has abilities that you get benefits from if you have a Tandem, a Wano, a Rainbow slot, but he doesn't have a way to generate those slots on himself, so he still needs to work with other units, I suppose. But that special ability seems kind of insane, where it doubles chain multiply. That's very absurd. We'll have to wait and see how exactly that works. Let's have a look at the Rumble stuff briefly. The sprite looks crazy, dude. That sprite looks so good on this guy. Okay, let's move on. Let's have a look at his Rumble stuff. So he's going to be quick focus now. Quick type characters, speed 6, attack 6, HP 6, and when you take damage up to 6, I mean, it's pretty much the same shit, pretty much. Let's have a look at the level limit break buff with his special. Quick teammates get level 7 attack, large range horizontal 3 times, 1 enemy 1.7 is at 28 CT. 28 CT, it's basically the same thing, but instead of boosting slashes, he now boosts quick. Whatever, right? So overall, I think this is a very interesting 6+. The fact that they keep paywalling these units, though, is what I'm saying. Why do they keep paywalling these units? It makes no sense. I absolutely despise this stuff, man. Like, come on. But anyways, that's the video for Zoro. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about this one down below in the comment section. This is a bit of a strange super evolution for sure. Hopefully you enjoyed this one though. If you did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post on my channel, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. On that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.